Hello, it's Shine Lawrence, and today I'm going to be doing problem exercise 3.38, which is where I changed the clock to a 12-hour display, which is values from 1 to 12 because 0 doesn't count. So the question states, change the clock from a 24-hour clock to a 12-hour clock, and then it gives a warning about it being not as easy as it may seem. The hours after midnight and afternoon are not shown as 0, but as 12. Thus, the minute display shows values from 0 to 59, while the hours shows values from 1 to 21. So I implemented this in a unique way. What I did, so I'll explain it as I go. So first I'll demonstrate the program. So I create a new clock, or I'll create a specific one. So let's say it's 11:58 and then AM, which would be true. Inspect. So we have the all of the variables here. We can look at the fields and all. Now we can do so right now it says 11:58 AM. Time tick, it's 11:59. Now when we click it again, it should become 12 PM. So click it again, 12 PM. So that part works. And let's try that from 11:59 to 12 AM. So let's set the time to 11:59 PM, which would make AM false. Set that to, we can inspect it again. So now it's 11:59, time tick, and it's 12 AM, which is exactly how we wanted it. So what I did was, the first thing I did, I created a boolean called isAM, which would be true if it is in the morning before noon, and false if it's after noon. And then in the constructor, I created isAM equals true, just as a default. I mean, this constructor is all default values. This one, you can set the boolean isAM, so isAM equals isAM. And then I created a new argument for set time, which is also isAM. And it'll set isAM to isAM again. So that's kind of repetitive, so I don't necessarily need that, I believe. So I can delete that. Yeah. And then I actually changed the hour number display to 12 because it's not a 24-hour display anymore, it's 12. And then minutes is normally 60. And once again, I have the set time here, which sets the time. Which is over here, where is it? Right here, and sets the boolean for is it AM or PM, which is necessary because otherwise you couldn't distinguish between AM and PM unless you start off at AM, then you can switch back and forth, which is what I did. So for time tick, I didn't change anything. For set time, like I said, I set the boolean isAM. Get time, it's a getter method, I don't need to do anything. But update display is what I changed because update display is what shows the information to the user. So that's even though the program might have it still in 24-hour time, the user is the one we want to show the 12-hour clock to. So that's why I changed it specifically for update display. So the first thing I did, what was here before was something like this, display string, which will set the string, which is this string. It'll set the string to the time, the digital time. So I created a system where it's like a flip-flop. It'll if it's first, it'll check if the hours is 0, because if it normally without this, 12 o'clock would be considered 0 o'clock, which is not what we want actually. So if it's 0, we set hours to 12 actually. Then if it is AM, we set it to PM. Otherwise, we set it to AM. So that's like a flip-flop. If it's AM, then once it crosses the threshold, it becomes PM. And then lastly, we have the display method, which will display AM and PM based on if it is AM. If AM is true, then you display AM, and then if it's not true, it's PM. So that's essentially the program, and I can show a few other like a few more demonstrations. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna delete that for now. So I'll just leave it like that. Compile. Another error. Oh, when did I change this? Boolean. Compile. Okay, good. Now it compiled again. That's funny. New clock display. Let's say it's 11:34 p.m., which would be false. So we get this, and then we can just continue time tick, time tick, time tick, or we can set it back to 11:59 a.m. True, and then time tick, and watch here, it'll turn to 12 a.m. time tick. So yeah, and then the boolean changes as I said in the flip-flop. So thank you for watching, and yeah, thank you.